Can go.
Okay.
When we started.
So we were starting with the idea of course, it's where we are. What is our current state? We're talking about the idea of a tree, like you were saying, where the roots are the current culture, some of the culture, some of the, like the position that Wilmot holds for people in Evergreen. Some of those traditions and things like that are the roots. And then we talked about them creating the trunk, which could be your beliefs about education, the purpose of education, how it should be delivered, all of those kinds of things can be the trunk. And then the leaves could be kind of what Wilmot is like right now. Those could be things that we're good at. It could just be a status, and they're on sticky notes on the tree like leaves. And then as we, of course, see, I'm looking at your notes, not mine.
Sorry.
No. So
Then we thought, so having built a tree through folks labeling and then discussing, we also then thought it would be really useful to go into the personification of students' experiences. And we thought instead of what you guys did, which was to imagine specific students, that we should create some roles for students, roles that represent students. The kid who gets in trouble because he talks out in class, the kid who is perpetually late, the kid who is ahead in math but behind in reading, or whatever.
any number of things with the purpose of engaging someone who may have one lens to imagine it from the perspective of a student that is unlike theirs, if they're a parent, or things like that, to imagine what that is like for somebody else.
And then we were thinking that maybe, so to really have people play out those roles, that maybe others interview. So what's your experience? What are you going to remember when people ask you later what Wilmot was like? What are you going to say? And what's your daily experience? And what's school for you? And
What's important to you about school?
what are you hoping to
things.
What are you hoping to learn? What matters? And then so they represent, and we hear those interviews.
And we were thinking that on the tree, I was thinking about color, like maybe the roots we write on there, because those are the things that you don't really want to change necessarily, but then you use sticky notes of one color to be the trunk and to be the leaves that are the current state, and then we decide what, as we move into the next step, what leaves do we want to take off and replace with something new, and that's a different color.
And we're thinking that both the tree and the personification of types of students will lead to some itchiness, and and that would be a good next step, maybe some itchiness discussion. And then the question of, okay, given the things we've been saying, how could Wilmot be better? And we also think there needs to be a conversation about constraints. Okay, we've talked about we're this way. We're talked about ways we could be better. What are the constraints to that we have? Those are the things we've identified.
And acknowledging the idea that, first of all, that not all of them have experience in education. They may not all understand what the barriers are to change. So providing kind of that background knowledge of those constraints, not that they can't be overcome, but that they are possible bumps in the road, difficulties that we would need to address in order to come up with some sort of plan then that would actually we could put into place.
That's where we've gotten.
Yep, we're done.